We're moving on immediately. Canes and Rangers. Now, there was a lot of talk about teams that had momentum at the end of the regular season, February into March, and would they be able to continue that in August? The New York Rangers did not continue that in August. The Carolina Hurricanes looked fantastic, and the New York Rangers very, very much did not. And unfortunately, you're looking at a situation now where obviously you have to wonder, okay, what's the future for Henrik Lundqvist at this point? The good thing is they do have a first-round pick coming from Carolina. We don't know where that's going to be yet, because it has conditions based off whether or not the Hurricanes end up with Toronto's pick. But it's a pretty good situation for the Rangers right now. You are going to have to sign Ryan Strome. He's going to get a bit of a raise. I don't know if I'd pay Brendan Lemieux any more than you've already paid him. The big worry is Tony DeAngelo, who, and thank you for that resub, by the way. The big thing with Tony DeAngelo, puts up a ton of points, but you look at some of the underlying numbers, especially in his own zone, and they're not good at all. So, very intriguing to see what he happens to get. Georgiev's an RFA. You would think something has to give with this combination here. If you're the Rangers, though, obviously you just want to continue to play from a position of strength with three relatively solid goalies. You have to wonder if Shesterkin didn't get injured in that, I believe, the car accident, right? Heading into, or in the immediate aftermath of the regular season ending, what would have happened. But, for the Rangers at the very least, I think some Rangers fans, for some reason, started to get their hopes up a little bit too much. I think Artemi Panarin probably had a lot to do with that. And Mika Zibanejad, who, again, is on one of the best contracts in the league right now. You can't blame Rangers fans for getting excited, but you jumped the gun a little bit. But considering it was 2.5 years ago or so that management was like, we're going to rebuild. We can make the playoffs this year, but let's be honest, nothing's going to happen. Let's rebuild. And you look at where the Rangers are now, and they're in a golden spot. And if they get Lafreniere on that 12.5% chance, my God. But obviously you still have some things to work out. This defense, no disrespect to Mark Stahl, Brendan Smith, but come on now. Obviously you would have wanted a little bit more out of Trouba for $8 million a year. But prospect-wise, it's still looking okay. Obviously, there's some concerns with Elias Anderson and what's going to happen there. But it's not the strongest prospect pool in the world. But, at the end of the day, you do have quite a few guys already on their roster. So for the Rangers, you get embarrassed a little bit. I think Rangers fans, you get, knocked back down to, to size a little bit to where you should be. Because let's be honest, again, some Rangers fans a little bit overconfident heading into this. And for Carolina, we'll talk about the Bruins a little bit more in a minute. But I don't have as much confidence as I did when the Bruins met the Hurricanes in the conference final last year. And that is for good reason. They stocked up at the deadline. Everybody is healthy. And that is not a very good situation for the Bruins to be walking into. I think the emergence of Sebastian Aho, I talked about it a lot. We did the 2015 redraft video where I said Aho should have been the fourth player drafted. You could argue he should have been drafted ahead of Mitch Marner at this point, because good Lord, is Sebastian Aho a playoff performer. Say what you want about the level of competition, but at the end of the day, you can only play who's put in front of you. Do the job. Mitch Marner didn't necessarily. Sebastian Aho certainly did. But this team is scary. You had Trocheck, you had Dzingel. Hopefully Svechnikov's not dumb enough. Thankfully, he's not dumb enough to be able to fight someone like Alex Ovechkin this time. But Martin Necas, the emergence of him. You re-added Justin Williams midway through the year. Dougie Hamilton, closer to being 100%. It's ridiculous. And then, rightfully so, some people, namely Adam Wilde at the San Diego podcast, pointing out Jacob Slavin as one of the best defensemen in the league. And he is. He absolutely is. It's tough for me for two reasons to say that, this team's definitely going to beat Boston. And you're missing Brett Pesce. And at the end of the day, do you trust Peter Mrazek in the playoffs? He played 2 games, was friggin' lights out. And obviously James Reimer is still there too, and he played lights out when he played. But bottom line is, for Carolina, that's a huge momentum boost, and they're going into a first-round matchup where they're playing against a team that's on the ropes a little bit. So for the Rangers, We'll see if you get Lafreniere. For the Hurricanes, what more could you possibly ask for than to end up with what you ended up with?